Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Live with Liz. It has been a little while, so needless to say, we are very excited to be here today. We are in Abbeville with Sage Automotive, and we have both Madison and Kristen. They both work in the Human Resources Department for Sage Automotive. Thank you, ladies, for taking some time out and for being here today. We're very excited.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have so much energy because it's been a while and we're ready to roll. So let's just go ahead and start talking about Sage and what it is you're doing here. So this is an expansion here. This isn't the first time that you've worked with Ready SC. So thank you. Thanks for working with us again. We're excited about that. So let's start by talking a little bit about what Sage Automotive is and the company history, and then we'll get into what you're looking for.
Okay, so a little bit on Sage's history. We became Sage in 2009, and we've been going strong ever since. Prior to that, we were Milliken. Milliken was around for years. Some of you may be familiar with it, and there still is a Milliken, but we have become Sage as a whole. And then we're going to talk a little bit about all the jobs that we have to offer with this merge that we're doing, and Kristen's going to talk a little bit more about those jobs.
Awesome. Can you talk a little bit about the merge you just mentioned?
Yeah, so this merge that we have is our plant in Georgia. It's called the Avalon plant. It's actually going to be merging with our Sharon plant. So all of the jobs from there are going to come to Abbeville County, which is right down the street at our Sharon plant. And that's going to require us to have, in totality, we're going to hire around 80 people for that. So these jobs, we're needing jobs from all different levels. So that's what Kristen's about to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to get right into what Sage Automotive is looking for. So if at any point in time during this Live with Liz you have any questions, please start typing them into the chat box, the comment box, because we're going to answer those questions at the very end of all this. So if those questions come up, throw them in there and we will get to them in just a few minutes. So let's go right into what it is you're looking for, Kristen. What do the positions look like that you need for the Sharon plant in Abbeville?
Okay, so as Madison mentioned, we're looking for a total of around 80 associates to bring on board to join the Sage family. So anywhere from entry-level positions all the way up to senior machine operators, and even those with mechanical skills that can work on those machines. We're looking for the full package, really. So if we start at that support level position, that can be anybody who has never worked in manufacturing before, or somebody who may be newer to the workforce, come in, kind of learn the ropes and move up that way, or for somebody who has forklift experience, maybe come in and operate a piece of mobile equipment, or somebody who has already machine operator experience, or mechanical experience, maybe like a technician or something like that, come into those positions. So really, we're just looking for anybody who is looking to join a work family and come in and join us.
Grow with Sage. So I have a few questions. So if somebody was coming in with no experience, what would that look like for them? You train them here on site, you bring them up to speed, and
We do. So any type of support level position, we have an extensive training program. So you'll go through safety orientation. Safety is huge here at Sage Automotive. You can see our yellow safety stickers. So we want to keep safety at the forefront. So you're going to have that, whether you're new in the workforce or have worked in the workforce for many years, everybody's going to go through that safety orientation. Everybody is going to go through an extensive training program. It's open for questions. It's collaborative. If you have questions, we're here to answer those for you and help you really learn those positions.
Very good. So some of the positions I have written down are material handler, warehouse, machine technician, operators. I know that's not all inclusive, but that there's about 80 positions. You've started to hire, but that's where you're trying to get to, is to fill these 80 roles.
That's
right?
correct.
Okay. So this is ongoing. If you're interested, and we're not done yet, but if you're interested, right after this Live with Liz, you can go to sctechjobs.com and you can find Sage Automotive and apply. Again, we're in Abbeville today, and they're trying to staff up about 80 roles for their Sharon plant, and all experience levels, it sounds like.
That's right.
Okay, great. So let's go right on to, can you tell us a little bit about how many employees do you currently have on site?
We have around 150 on site at our Sharon plant. And so that's going to add another 80 to that. So we see well over 200 total, once this is all complete.
Awesome. So growing, and that's now.
Right.
Who knows what the future holds? Like I said, this is our second project. I don't know, maybe a third. We'll see. That's not been planned. I'm just putting it out there. So can you tell us a little bit about why would people want to work for Sage Automotive? People watching now, what do you want them to know? What do you want them to get excited about?
So I can definitely share some of the benefits. That'll be a start. And of course, everybody's first question is, well, what do you pay? So I can share our entry-level pay. So if you come in, no experience, level 1 operator without shift premium, your bottom base pay, that the lowest you could possibly make, is $16.04. And of course, it goes up from there. That will depend solely on you, whether you are going to advance your career, whether you're a quick learner, or how you do well with safety and everything else. So that is our pay option. And then from there, we have a great 401k program. We do match you dollar for dollar up to 5%. And then we have medical, dental, vision, life and disability benefits. All of that will come available to you after your 90th day of work. So on your 91st day, you have all that if you apply for it.
And then you have that dollar for dollar. Did you mention that?
Yes, that's the 401k. So dollar for dollar match for our 401k, and that is up to 5% of contributions. And of course, you can contribute more than 5%, but Sage will match you up to 5%.
Or dollar to dollar. And you, before this started, you told me that the sharing plan is referred to as the country club.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So the country club, we call it, is because a lot of manufacturing, if you work in manufacturing before, you know that not everywhere is going to have a climate control or AC facility, but our sharing plant down the street is one of those plants that does have climate control. So if you're worried about working in the heat of the summer in these plants, you don't have to worry about that at the sharing plant because we have AC.
Have AC, and it's cold in the room we're in right now, so it's got to be good AC. So let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned a shift differential. Can you talk about what the shifts look like? Like what are the options, or what are you hiring for?
I'll let Kristen talk.
Yeah, so we are going to have a 12-hour shift rotation. The easiest way for me to describe that basically is 2 on, 2 off, and every other weekend. So the really good thing about a 12-hour shift is not only do you get every other weekend off, but you get that crucial time off during the week to get stuff done, which can be so hard if you work on Monday through Friday. So we have that. That's going to be our schedule. We'll have four shifts, and you'll either get to be on like a 12-hour first, which is 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., or a 12-hour third, which is 8 p.m. to 8 a.m.
Okay, those are the options. Okay, great. And then talk a little bit about, I've heard you say this a lot, like it's a family, I think you even said it in the very beginning, working with a family business and a family culture. So what does that mean to Sage Automotive?
Well, speaking for myself, I know that I spend more time at Sage Automotive than I do with my family at home. And that's huge. The people that you work with really do become your family. I've been with Sage for over 10 years in different roles. And why am I here is because I love the people. That's why I got into HR, because I love the people. And they just become your family. And, you know, welcome to the family.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to that?
I was just going to say that's exactly how most people feel when they get here. Whether you are a new hire, and of course you grow and you learn as soon as you get comfortable, but everybody's going to reach out to you and ask, hey, do you need any help? And if you ever need help, you're definitely going to find somebody to give you the answers, because we have people who have worked at Sage Automotive for 45 plus years. So it's definitely a good place to work. If it wasn't, they wouldn't be here still.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and that ties right back to, that was actually something I was going to ask before. Again, thinking of the new people in the workforce, being able to go to others that have that experience to ask questions and feeling comfortable enough to do that is really important. You know, that's huge. So you put this in a really good way, and I'm going to let you do it again, Kristen. Right before we started this, you said if it's under your butt or behind your back or over your head.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're here at Sage, we're a textile manufacturer. So we manufacture the automotive seat fabric. So when I'm explaining this to people who may have never been in textiles, I say if it goes under your booty, behind your back, or above your head, that's what we make here at Sage.
In all the cars.
In all cars, that's right.
Yeah, sat on it on the way to work, and you're probably going to sit on it on the way home, and all of that great stuff. So that's really exciting. Okay, awesome. So did you want to talk about like a little bit, I mentioned the website that they could go to if they're interested in applying, but I think you also said they could come in person. Would they do here, Sharon?
So you could come to the Abbeville plant, which is in Abbeville as well, or the Sharon plant right down the street, and you could put in a paper application if that's something you're more comfortable with, or if you're more local to the area and you would just like to see the plant before you apply. You can definitely come on in and put your application in here.
Awesome. So could they come in and apply and then get a tour of the plant?
We'll hold off on the tours until interview day, but of course when interview day comes up, just for safety purposes, we can prepare a little better and make sure that everybody knows that you're coming. So
Perfect.
To interview for sure.
Yeah, that's great. So there's two more points I know that I wanted us to mention. One was about uniforms and about steel-toed shoes. Can you talk about both of those?
Yeah. So as far as uniforms go, there's not really a requirement for uniforms, but we are number one here in safety, so we are part of the DPP program, which leads me into saying that every position, regardless of which one that you're in, has different requirements for what type of PPE that you have to wear, whether that be if you have to operate mobile equipment, then you need to wear steel-toe shoes. That is something that we provide, so you don't have to worry about trying to afford the budget of steel-toe shoes before you get started with your job, because we do provide those for you.
Then that was something I wanted to make sure we said, because that's not always the case, that those shoes aren't provided by the employer, and they can be pretty expensive. So I think that's a really huge selling point. And again, the no uniforms, some people probably love the idea of not having to worry about that. So I wanted to make sure we plug both of those things. Okay. So again, if you're interested in applying, you can go to sctechjobs.com. You can also come on site and ask for a paper application and do it in person. If you have questions, please be typing them into the comment or the chat box. But I think that's pretty much all we have here. A few quick questions. I don't know if they're in the chat box at all, but I did want to ask, do you have to be 21 to work here? 18. Do you need a high school diploma or a GED?
You do not.
You do not. Okay, very good. You went over the pay rate. If people apply and they are not selected, would they be notified?
That would, if they had an interview, yes.
Okay.
If they don't get to that process, then we don't typically reach out yet, because we may need you later.
That's right.
And then at that point, if we needed to hire more, we would call you down the road and then say, hey, are you still interested in a job here? We have some more interview options that you can come in to do an interview for those jobs.
Very cool.
So we try to keep everybody's name in the bucket until we call you and you say, hey, I've already accepted another job later, which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so we're hiring about 80 people. We're in the middle of hiring about 80 people, all kinds of experience or none, all sorts of different positions for the Sharon plant in Abbeville. Again, that's Sage Automotive. Go online, come in person, and apply. If you have any questions, reach out. If you don't have questions now, but you think of them later, you can still reach out, and those will be answered whenever you come across this video in the future. We're very excited to be here. Anything else you want to plug real quick before we jump off?
I don't think so.
Come to Sage.
Come to Sage.
Come to Sage. Come work at Sage.
And ask all the questions or comments later, and we will still try to reach out and get those answered. So.
Yeah. So thank you all for joining us. We're excited to have you all here, and we will see you next time.